Hey guys, I'm going to show you in this video what the difference is between having no torsion bar, also known as a anti-sway bar, versus the EVilla or EVilla aftermarket torsion bar. This is installed on the rear suspension of the Forte. It's going to be bolted from the bottom of this spring mount, I guess, seat right here. So we're going to add 2 bolts that go through the existing holes here on each side of the suspension. The reason why this will work like a traditional sway bar or anti-sway bar on an independent rear suspension is because there's a length of metal from here and here. So this whole beam, it's called the torsion beam suspension because it actually does allow twisting. It acts like a rudimentary independent rear suspension. So what this bar does is it simply stiffens the points from here to there and allows less twist, therefore less independent movement of the suspension. So what I'm hoping is, according to the owner, the guy who manufactures these, it should make it feel closer to what a Focus ST feels like, that it has more ability to swing the tail out under hard maneuvering. So I'm going to try to show that to you guys today. This is the anti-sway bar, or torsion bar technically, that I purchased from EVilla Motorsports. I'm going to call it EVilla. I'm assuming that Spanish pronunciation is correct. This is the coilover friendly torsion bar. So it has, instead of a circular bracket here meant to go around the bottom of the coil spring mount, this has a straight mount, so there's less material in the way in case you decide to install coilovers later on, which I'm considering. But it comes with the hardware right here. These are bolts, washers, and nuts, and this piece right here. You do have to wallow out or open up the actual existing holes just a little bit with a grinder or a file. I have all the tools I need, so that's not an issue for me, but just be aware you will still need a tool to open up those holes a little bit. But this bar is installed underneath the coil spring. So I'm going to put a link in the description below so that you can check out this company. They make a lot of other upgrades for Kias, but the Forte, other cars as well. And I spoke to the owner, and he's a really nice guy, and it's neat to talk to the actual person who's making these parts. So check them out. Obviously, the Kia Forte is not the most prolific upgradable car out there, so it's not a Honda Civic, and I'm glad that there are some people out there that make some parts for these to make them more fun. Before you put your shocks back on, there appears to be a little bit of Loctite on here, so you definitely want to apply some fresh Loctite to these threads before you put those bolts back on. You don't want those bolts backing off. Things like that can happen, and it can be catastrophic. So here's the sway bar bolted in. let's see how it drives. That was not overwhelming, I will admit, but I was not going fast. So what I attempted to do was to maintain 25 miles an hour during the slalom, and then about 35 miles an hour for the emergency maneuver, let's call it, the quick left turn. And it was a lot wetter this morning when I did that first test. And this is in the dry, and it feels quite a bit more neutral. Maybe not as much as I was expecting, but I'm going really slow, honestly. So I think once you're going 60 miles an hour or so, but I could definitely feel a difference. So it's definitely easier now to break the tail loose in the dry, absolutely, than before. But I'm seeing that the stability control cannot be totally disabled by just pushing a button, so I have to look at a way to completely disable that, because it just cut the power as soon as I started to slide. So I'd like to totally disable that. But definitely easier to get the rear end to break loose, so that's cool. So I've done a little more driving around closed courses, and you're really gonna see this torsion bar shine in an autocross driving style. If you're maintaining throttle through turns and you are going back and forth to go through a slalom, for example, you're really going to see this make a difference. And it just allows the car to turn in a little more neutrally, and it feels a lot better. So that's definitely something that I'm seeing at higher speeds as well. Your initial turn in, you're going to see a little bit more neutrality. I don't know how much. I don't know if you could get the tail to come out at higher speeds. I don't know if you'd really want to do that. You definitely don't want to do that on public roads, but it feels more neutral at higher speeds, and yeah, I'm liking this.